Hey, welcome to Unleash Your Brilliance today. My name is Andrea Harrison. I am the creator and founder of Unleash Your Brilliance. As a writer and inspirational speaker, I disrupt comfort zones. I am a purpose pusher, inspiring women to unleash their brilliance and live out their life purpose. I am so excited that you decided to join us today for Unleash Your Brilliance Live. I don't know if you already know, but we are doing these every Thursday at 11 a.m. So make sure that you put it on your calendar, set an alert, because baby, the calendar is already filling up with some dynamic people. So today we have a special guest. I am super, super, super excited. My daughter says I shouldn't keep saying how excited I am, but I don't know how else to say how I feel right now. First of all, she's one of those people that helped to push me into my purpose. And so having her here today, I am just thrilled, literally thrilled that she would take time out of her day to join me on Unleash Your Brilliance Live. I don't know if you have heard of her. I'm sure you've seen her because she is the first lady of visibility. And her name is Roshanda Pratt. Y'all give it up for Roshanda Pratt. Woo-hoo!
I'm so excited to be here. This is so exciting, and I'm so proud of you in what you've created here. It's just such an honor to be here, and I'm telling you, I'm pumped. I'm excited about what we're doing today.
Okay, so can you hold on 1 second, please?
Sure.
Okay, I just want to wait for a few more people to come on.
Oh my gosh.
So
We're gonna start that.
Can we just wait? Can we just hold? Let's just wait for a few more people to come on. Is that okay?
No, it is never okay. It is not okay to wait for a couple of people. Please stop. Let me come in here. Please, sir. Please, ma'am. Please stop saying that. Please stop doing that because you're waiting for what? You're waiting for the paint to dry. You're waiting for your mom to show up and figure out how to use this platform. Like, what are you waiting on? What? Just get started already. The people who are here, and they want you to get started. They told me to tell you that. They said stop waiting. Just get started.
Just get started. Just do it, right?
Just do it. Yeah. Be like Nike and just do it. So you should never start a video off with, I'm waiting for a couple more people to start because you've already ended it. Like you already ended your first shot, you just blew it. Because people are just like, okay, if you're waiting for other people, keep scrolling, keep moving on. So
it's absolutely true. I've been one of those people. I have been one of those people where I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and wait with you. I'm here. I want to hear what you have to say.
I'm like, it's like the group project. Why am I getting in trouble for what someone else didn't do? I showed up on time. You said you were going to go live at 11. I am here and ready to go. Why do I have to wait for somebody else to get here? And who is this person I'm waiting for? Like they owe me money because I'm waiting for them.
Like Gordon said, the show will end before you even give content.
That's exactly right. So, I mean, just go ahead and get started. And, you guys, we're starting off here joking, but I'm so honored to be here because I'm so proud of what Andrea is doing and how she's stepping into this next level of visibility for her and the people that she's called to impact. And so I'm honored to be here and to be on her show. And so if you guys are watching live, go ahead and hit the share button. Sharing is caring. And go ahead and comment. I see a couple of people. I started a watch party. You guys should go ahead and do the same. So I see Andrea C is here. Thank you for being here. And say hello to us in the comment section. So that way we can have a really great conversation because you guys in your audience help to make the show a great broadcast. Don't you agree, Andrea?
I absolutely agree. You heard it here from the first lady of visibility. And guess what? She's also the author of CEO of a Live Video. And listen, I'm going to be giving away one of these books today to one of our sharers. someone who asks a question,
Wow.
we need participation here today. We want you to be a part of this show. So listen, this book has changed my lives. Okay? My
Yeah.
life. All right. It is a life changer. It's a life changer. And if you want to learn about being the CEO of your own live video and you want this book, I'm going to need y'all to go ahead and hit that share button. Let people know that the Rosho is on today.
I love that you said that this book changed lives. I love that you said that, and that was so powerful. The producer in me is like, yeah, that's awesome. And I love that you said that because I mean, that was the heart and reason why we wrote the book, getting so many questions from people on how do you do this live stream thing? Like, how does this work? What is this about? And just after all those questions, I decided, well, you know what? Let me put it in a book, right? And people say that it's their handbook or the manual, Brian, on how you want to do live videos. And so many people have been impacted about this book. It's about almost 3 years old. It's still relevant. And it's really just the best practices of what I learned 20 years working behind the scenes as a television news producer, equipping people to produce their lives with purpose. That's the thing. Like, just don't hit this button, but really produce your live shows with purpose. Whether you're slinging bling or whether you are inspiring people, church services, speaking to people about your product or service or company, your live video can still be impactful and purposeful.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, this is what my book looks like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is what my book looks like. And that was before today.
Man, that's amazing. Thank you. That's just like, I'm over here like, someone's highlighting something that I said.
Yeah, girl,
Wow.
you got a lot of good things to say. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted you to be on a guest on the show, is because, I want other people to know about you. I want other people to hear what you have to say. People that I know, I want them to know you because you have really helped me to really step out of my comfort zone. As my friend Brian says, push past my quit. And
Wow.
past weekend really did it for me. I mean, I've known you for what, 3, 4 years, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I've known you for about 3 or 4 years, which the way we came to know each other, I think is quite funny.
Yes.
I think it's really funny. I was actually sending a message to somebody else with the first name Roshanda, and I sent it to you. I think it was like your business page. I
Yes.
sent it to you, and you were like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then it came to be, you were like, wait, are you photos with Madison's mommy? I've been
Hmm.
following her for like 2 years. And look where we are today.
Yeah.
You've been a guest speaker at two of my sold out Unleash Your Brilliance conferences.
Yes.
And I mean, you are just a phenomenal woman. And I believe that God has created you for such a time as this, because there's so many people like myself who feel as though I don't have anything to say, feel as though everything has to be perfect in order for me to, get on live and speak, or, feel like, does anybody want to hear what I have to say? Or we just don't know how important it is to be visible, to show up, and so that's why I wanted you to come here and speak and share your genius with these folk, because they need to hear it. So I hope everybody's sharing. I hope you're sharing, because guess what? I'm choosing a winner today to get the free book. I'm telling you, this will change your life.
Thank you, Andrea. When it comes to visibility, what I've realized doing this visibility work for the past really 3 years is I realized that visibility is an inside job. And we talked about that a little bit at the Visibility is Power virtual experience this past weekend, which you had a part to be, you were a part of, and Marilyn and Yvette, and I'm seeing so many people, Andrea C, that were there at the conference. And when I talk about visibility being an inside job, so many times we focus on the exercise of visibility, doing live video, pitching the media, writing a book. All of those things are the exercise, the doing of visibility. But we really don't spend the time in being, like being visible.
Well,
And
that's
when I
good.
say being visible, I'm not talking about the doing, but the being of your visibility. And what I know is that if people don't see you, they can't be with you. They can't create community with you, relationship with you. So there's a being of visibility, and we have to really embrace the being of visibility. You know, the saying goes that we are human beings, not human doings.
Ooh.
And too often, as entrepreneurs, we spend a lot of time doing the things, but not being. See, this
Mm.
message of visibility is power is a part of my DNA. It's a
Mm.
part of my being. And whatever message that you have that is turning into a movement, right? We're very much into this whole movement era, you know, messages that become movements, right? And it has to be a part of your being. And I think when it becomes a part of your being, that's what makes it authentic to people. That's what makes it uh, it resonates with people and they want to connect with that. And so I've been so inspired and also just really humbled by so many people who took this message of live video and it has become a part of their being and not just a part of their doing. And that is the power of this message.
You know that I love that you said that, and I love that you said that there are people that they will just go live. Some
Yes.
people, they don't really know what to say, they don't know what they should be doing, they don't know that what their lighting should look like. You know,
Mm,
those are a lot of the things you cover in this book.
yes.
A lot of those things you cover in this book. But when it comes to not knowing what to say, because
Mm,
sometimes I find that people, they don't see themselves as the answer. They don't see
yeah.
themselves as the solution. They look at you and they put you on a pedestal and they say, she's amazing. She's got that thing and I don't have it, right? And
Yeah.
one of the things that I love that you talked about in your book on page 12, on page 12 is
I
right here
love this.
on page 12. All right. You talked about how one of the members of your Facebook community, she took information that you shared and
Hmm.
she shared it.
Yeah.
She, you said that not only was she providing information and educating her audience, but she was also showing her audience that she's open to being teachable. And I think that has a lot to do
Yeah.
with authenticity. And so,
Hmm.
you know, if we don't know exactly what our message is yet, if we
Yeah.
don't know exactly what to say, there's nothing wrong. You're saying there's nothing wrong. I mean, you said it right here.
Yes.
You're
I
saying there's
did.
nothing wrong with taking somebody else's content as long as you give them credit and
Yes.
repurposing it.
Okay. So many things that you said there. First of all, this lady said, turn to page 12. And I'm picking up my own book, like, what's on page 12? So that was amazing. But so many things there. You know, when you don't know your message yet and you're still cultivating that and you're still working on that, I don't think it's anything wrong with sharing what has inspired you or sharing what you've learned from someone else. But you got to give attribution. And in this space of infopreneur and information sharing, you know, just at the clicks of being able to hit the share button, people miss the opportunity of affirming somebody else. And let me talk about that. You affirming someone else by what they said that may have inspired you, motivated you, doesn't take away from who you are.
Oh,
It
that's
actually
good.
it actually shows your audience that you are teachable, you're putting in the work to continue to learn and grow. So affirming somebody else doesn't make you look bad. And so I wanted to point out in that case there that when you take the time to really start building a community, what you say to that other person when you show their content is, man, I respect you. Man, I honor you. And what happens to that person that you may deem as an influencer, or the person that you're calling out and saying, hey, this content is really good, that person is looking at you and saying, hey, man, let's get to know each other. Let's build
Mhm.
relationship. And that's the way that this relationship currency continues to flow. So give attribution to people, affirm other people, because what I know about that is that's what you want people to do with your content. That's what you want people to do with your lives or what you're sharing in this space. You would want to be affirmed as well. So you lose nothing by celebrating somebody else. The competition, it's not real. I
Mm-mm.
mean, I know we talk about it, and I know a couple of business people would disagree with me, but I think really what it's about is this is my compliment to what I do.
Mhm.
There's certain things that I focus and hone it on, and that may be your area as well, but you may complement it a little bit differently than I do. So I think it's
And you
just
got
look,
your own sauce.
you
You
got
got
your
your
own
own
thoughts,
secret
right?
sauce, you know?
And embracing that.
We can both sit here right now and we can share something and we're both going to do it differently
That's
and
it.
we're going to appeal to different people as well.
That's it. And that's okay. And be okay with that. Be okay that you're not for everybody.
Mhm.
You're not for everybody. I mean, come on, you're not toilet paper. That just came off the dome. Toilet paper is for everybody. You're not for everyone, right? So be okay with that. Be okay that there are people that my sound is drawing specifically to me that want to do life and business with me, and be okay with your unique sound.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. Be okay with your unique sound. And Kim says we got to be strong girls, right?
That's
We got to
it.
be strong. We got to be strong girls. I
Yes.
love that. I love that. Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm gonna go ahead and flip on over to page 34. Okay.
Okay, let me turn to page 34 as well.
So on page 34, one of the things that
Yeah.
you talk about is being an influencer, right? And
Yes.
you talk about instant celebrity engagement. And I love that. I love that term. But you said that our aim is to become an influencer to our audience, right?
Hmm.
And you said have the consistent habit of showing up to your audience and watch. They will show up for you. So first you're
Yeah.
saying okay that we should be seen, we should be heard, and it's okay to share content while you're trying to develop your own story. And now you're saying we got to show up because if we show
Yeah.
up, other people are going to show up.
You got to be consistent. And I think that's where, when people tell me, Andrea, stuff like, oh, I only have two or three people watching me, nobody's watching me. The next question I ask them is, well, how consistent are you? Because what I'm finding out is a lot of times they're not consistent in their show up. It's especially important with everything that's happening in our world, with more and more people online, more and more scammers,
Mhm.
catfishing. People say there's something, but they're not. So we have to make sure that we're intentional and being consistent in our show up, because that shows people that we're consistently who we say we are. You see that? That we're
Mm,
consistently who we say we are. So a lot of times it's what's biting you, and why you're not able
mm.
to really build the impact, the influence, and the income you desire is because you haven't even decided to show up consistently. And what does that look like? And
Wow, that's
then,
really deep.
yeah, like you haven't even decided that. And then once we decide to show up consistently, you mean to tell me that your community is not going to show up for you? They are going to show up for you. Your people who want to do life and business with you will show up the more consistently that you show up. And the more consistently that you show up, speaking to their pain, speaking to what's on the other side of that, speaking to the things that they love and they fear, speaking to those things, not in a way to manipulate, but in a way of showing them what's possible. So that's why this live video thing is not just hitting a button. I mean, we've
Hmm.
been live here for about 19 minutes. I hope people understand that this is not just hitting a button. This is really taking the time to create an experience that people
Yes.
have with you, an experience that they have with you. And I'm telling you, That's so key. Lady D is here, and I see her comment, and I want to address this. Um, and I'm gonna go ahead and say something because people may be used to seeing me live, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this. You may be watching this right now and say, Roshanda seems like she's just kind of real mellow today. And here's the thing. I know that I came on here with a purpose and I
Mhm.
know why we're here. And so don't let my energy fool you. My energy's on 10, but I'm being very intentional and methodical in where I'm going and the conversation that we're having. So stay in this because you're gonna experience something. So Lady D says that some are consistent but not authentic. And that is the quandrum or the blessing and the curse of this, right? That we have people who are consistently showing up inauthentic. And one of the things that I say is you'll eventually get found out. I mean, we went through a whole movie of The Wizard of Oz only to find out that the Wizard of Oz wasn't much of a wizard.
That part.
So after a while, right, of you doing all the things of being consistent, but not really being authentic, after a while, the curtain will get pulled back and we'll realize that you're not who you say you are.
And and the thing about it with being with authenticity is that when you show up authentically, when you show up as
Yeah.
you actually give other people permission to do the same. People can look at you and say, okay, so she may have stumbled over her words,
Yeah.
then it tells them, then it's okay if I stumble over mine. Oh, I dropped something. It's okay. Like you always say, this is real life. This is
This is
live
real life.
video.
Andrea, here's the thing. I'll record videos, and if I mess up, like if you mispronounce somebody's name, you need to record it again, right? Or if it's something that's really blaring. But if I'm doing a live video, and I'm going to do an example here, and I'm saying, hey guys, it's the Rosho, storyteller, live stream strategist, producer, and first lady of visibility. And I want to help you be like, I'm going to keep that in the video. I'm not going to edit it out.
Right.
Why? Because sometimes keeping your mistakes in there helps to
Hmm.
communicate that you're authentic, that
Yes.
you're a real person. Listen,
Yes.
your audience is not looking for perfection. You know how I know they're not looking for perfection? Because I'm not looking for it. And here's
Right.
the thing, they're not looking for perfection because they already want to be done with the perfection in their own lives. What they're looking for is progress. And one of the examples that I talk about and I share this everywhere I go is, you see me here with this really great lighting. You see me here with this backdrop. But when I started, and if you go to any of my old scopes from Periscope, any of my old um, YouTube videos, you will see that I am not the same person. So
Mm.
it's really about progress over perfection every single time. That every
Oh,
time you get better.
progress over perfection.
Perfection.
Somebody write that in the comments. Progress over perfection. I love that.
Every time. And here's the thing about that. I mean, we've done pretty good in the last 2 years, but even how our show is going to look going into
Mm.
2021 is changing. It's about progress over perfection every single time. So you start where you are. That means if you have a plain wall, you start there with a really powerful message and you grow to where you want to go. That right
Ooh,
there was the
I
key.
like that.
You
Grow to where you
grow
want to go.
to where you want to go.
That's almost like, do you remember back in the day when you had a job, right? Or
Yeah.
when you were first starting out, one of the things that I always heard is that you should dress for the part. So dress for the job that you have, not dress for the job that you want, not the
Yes.
job that you have. So
Yes.
that sounds like the same thing to me, wouldn't you say?
I agree. It is the same thing. It's like go where you want to go. And I
Hmm.
remember we changed our background because at the time I was coaching with a particular person who's now become my mentor and like family. And one of the things that she told me, she says, if you are the lady of visibility, if you're that person, she's like, we need to change this whole studio. I want you to get a backdrop. I want you to do X, Y, and Z. And I said, you're right. Because if I'm the first lady of visibility, I got to be seen. I got to
That's
be
right.
heard, right? And I have to set the tone and the pace for that. And I think that's what's so powerful with what you're doing here, Andrea, is setting the tone and pace and helping women to embrace their brilliance at another level. You've done a
Listen,
really
I'm,
great job for what you did, right? And where
thank
you started. But where you're going is absolutely amazing.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for saying that, especially coming from you, because I think about this past weekend. I mean, I've had this platform since 2018. Okay, I've
Mhm,
had this
mhm.
platform since then. I've had two successful sold out conferences. As I mentioned, you were a speaker at both of them, and then I was getting ready to gear up for this year's third conference, and
Yeah.
then the pandemic happened. And to be
Mhm.
honest with you, I kind of just took a step back because I felt so deflated because I had scheduled all of these meet and greets so that I could start to get to meet people, go out and talk to the people and tell them about unleashing your brilliance, and then
Mhm.
it just stopped. And when it stopped, I just took my focus and went someplace else. But then being a part of the conference this weekend, the virtual conference, it really, really, it shook me up. It really
Mhm.
shook me up. And one of the things that I keep saying, and I don't know if you saw it today, you posted such a cute picture of Baby Show, and like he was like, and
All the time.
you said to caption this, and I don't know if you saw what I wrote, but my caption was I no longer have the right to remain silent. And
Wow.
that thing, you saying that this weekend, it just keeps playing over and over and over in my head. And I go live doing different things, but
Mm.
I don't go live and really I haven't really shown up and really shared my genius,
Yeah.
the way that I should. And this week I was just like, you know what, I can't do it anymore, because if I do that, I'm totally being disobedient. And I can't, I have to do it so that
Yeah.
I can encourage and inspire other women to do it. And I realize that God has assigned us to people. God has
Yes.
assigned people so that if we don't open up our mouths and we don't share what He's placed on our hearts, if we don't let them know that there's hope, if we don't let them know that they have got to rise up and be counted,
Yes.
what's going to happen? It falls on us.
Mhm.
So I
I think
thank you. I thank you for this weekend. I thank you for showing up. I thank you for being visible. I
thank you.
thank you for that.
I think that's what our life is about. I believe that stories give permission. And so your story gives others permission. And a lot of times your visibility is not even really about you. It's really about shining the spotlight on you, the city set on the hill that can't be
Mm,
hidden, right? So that
mm.
way it draws other people ultimately to him. I think about one of my favorite stories as it pertains to CEO live video was when I was at a conference.
Wait, what
Two,
page? What page are you looking at? Are you looking at a specific page?
it's not a page.
I just need to know because I'm ready. Anytime you open your mouth, I'm ready. Just tell me. Wait, where's my
But
highlighter?
this is not in the book. This is not in the
Oh,
book.
oh, oh.
But
Okay.
this is in soon to be released Visibility is Power book, which is coming out in December of this year. Really
Did y'all
excited
hear
about
that?
that. Yes. So Visibility is Power is coming out. And in that book, I shared the story of a woman. I was at a conference. She purchased my book, and she talked about the next day about how this book changed and impacted her life. And there was a lot that went into writing this book. I was close to delivering Baby Show. There's a lot of other challenges that were going on in our life and transitioning into ministry and all of those things, right? But I pressed through the challenges because I just believed that this book was tied to people. And then I meet this lady who shares the story of struggling with depression and suicide, and she tells me that she's not going to go live. And I was like, okay. She says, but what I will do is this book has convicted me to live my life. And I
Mm.
said, wow, a book about live video convicted her to live her life. And then from that moment, she proceeded to buy all of the books full price because she wouldn't let us do wholesale, for everyone in the room. So that was between 50 to 60 books at this conference. And what I thought to myself is there's so many things. That's why I say visibility is power,
Mhm.
because you're leveraging your impact, your influence, and your income. She was impacted by a book that I wrote, which created influence for her to live her best life. And then from that influence, where did the income come from? She bought one book, that she decided everyone in the room needed
Needed
my
to.
book. That was the income. So you have to understand that your visibility creates that. It creates opportunities of impact, influence, and income. But your visibility is your responsibility. That's not on God. That's
Right.
on you. That's not on Andrea. That's not on your boss where you worked, where you're working at. Maybe you're a dualpreneur and you're saying, I just don't have time. Well, we all given 24 hours in a day. And I
Mhm.
know that because I worked in a TV setting, the overnight shift, and yet I'd still come home and do live video because I understood that my visibility is not a option, it is the option.
Oh, wait. Say that again.
Yes.
That's
My
good,
visibility,
Roshanda. That's good.
my visibility is not a option, it is the option, which means
The
it
only, oh,
the only
the
option. I
option.
have to.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
when I understood that, things began to shift and it changed differently. And I will say, God opened up doors because I was in position. A lot of times you can't get what you want because you're not in position.
In position. What does that mean to be in position?
Sure. So when I'm talking about being in position means being on your assignment, whatever that is and what that looks like. And so people miss that opportunity of being in position so you can be placed somewhere,
Mhm.
right? Be in position. I think about this. If I had listened to the naysayers, Andrea, let me be very transparent here. When I started doing live video, I was still working at the TV station, and there were a couple of people, TV colleagues, what is she doing? This is so stupid. I mean, this is a fad. It's not gonna last. Is she going live after work? She wrote a book about this. I mean, this is pretty lame. There were a couple people who laughed at me. But think
Are
about it.
you
If
laughing now?
some of them are buying the book, okay? Here's the thing. You ready for this, Andrew? Here's the thing. What if I listened to the people who didn't understand what God was saying to me in my secret place?
That
What if I
part.
listened to the people who put me in the pit, Joseph, without remembering there was a palace promised for me? But if I had listened to those people who laughed at me, who scoffed at me, who mocked me, now I'm in the middle of a pandemic where people need to understand how to do live video. I would have missed my door of opportunity. And let me tell
Wait,
you, to those who are watching this,
hold on a second. And Roshanda, what are those TV people doing now? They're going live. They're
exactly,
doing this.
exactly,
You were doing
exactly.
it a long time ago.
That's it. And what I understand about that is understanding that your assignment, that people may not understand it, Noah. They didn't understand. They had never seen rain before. And here's someone telling them, it's going to rain. I'm building an ark. What are you talking about? You ready for this? Let me make it practical to what I'm talking about. You
Mm,
guys, we need to embrace this live video thing. This is not a trend. This is like this is the thing that's going to stay. Oh, Roshanda, it's just going to pass. Hmm? Hmm? Noah? So you have to understand that if they don't understand your assignment, that's
mhm.
okay. What matters is that you understand it and that you get in position and alignment so you can start drawing and attracting what you're in position for.
That's deep. That's deep. And guess what? Guess what you say on page 35?
What I say on page 35.
You say we engage on purpose for a purpose. Your
Yeah,
main goal is not to be popular, but to be relevant. Be relevant, show up consistently, engage intentionally, and give value. When you do these things, you will always be in demand.
that's it. I mean, and that's what I do. Like people ask, what's the formula? That's the formula. I just keep showing up. I keep providing value, and then here's the result of that. And
Mhm.
so you have to embrace that. And again, that's why I said at the beginning when we started this conversation, almost 35 minutes ago, this is an inside job. This is
Yes.
an inside work. It's all that stuff is the exercise of visibility, but it's what you do on the inside that flows out.
Mhm.
I see a comment here. Melissa says, I need this new book. I'm struggling right now with heartache and anxiety. I have to relive my sister's death all over again from 40 years ago. Going through this trial is heartbreaking. It has impacted my small business. Melissa, if I can just give you a word of encouragement, is what I said. Maybe it was last year when I was speaking at a conference to women who were diagnosed with cervical cancer. And there's no cure for that, barring healing from God. And I still believe that God is a healer. And I believe that God's a healer for you, Melissa. And one of the things that I told one of the ladies in the room, Mary, it was about 2 years ago. And Mary just found out she had cervical cancer. She grew up in rural West Virginia. She survived sexual trauma, teenage mom, and she says to me, Andrea, this is just another thing that's happening to me, cancer.
Mm.
And I walked over there to her and I pointed to her and I said, here's what I want you to understand. I want you to make cancer pay. I want you to make cancer pay for ever picking on you or bullying you. Fast forward to a year later, I was invited back to that same conference. In that short time, in 12 months, we lost three ladies in that group. Three ladies that lost their fight to cancer. One of them was a woman who was 26 years old and never had an opportunity to tell her story again, right? And I saw this woman in the hallway who came running up to me, and I didn't even realize it was Mary from the previous year. She looked so different. And I said, Mary, is that you? She says, yeah, it's me. She says, Roshanda, I'm making cancer pay. She became an advocate. She became a speaker. She launched her speaking and coaching business. And Mary looked so impactful and so different. And so, what am I saying to you, Melissa? I'm saying to you that same thing that I want you to make pain pay.
Mhm.
It's a painful situation, both that's happening in your business, but also happening in your personal life. And I want to really encourage you to hone in and make pain pay. What does that look like? Deciding that every day, though this is heartbreaking for me, though that this is painful, I'm going to show up every day because this is the day that the Lord has made. And I'm going to make a decision to rejoice, even if you have to cry while you smile, because we're encouraged through the word of God that those who sow in tears will reap joy.
Ooh.
And I'm
Yeah.
believing that joy, right now, Melissa, joy is going to come to your life and joy is going to come to your business again in the name of Jesus
In
because
Jesus'
you're
name.
going to make pain pay.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think, that's what the enemy wants to do. The enemy wants to mute us.
Right.
And
Because
so,
there's a sound that comes from your voice, Andrea. I've been studying about sound, and I'm telling you, I'm not ready to release this, but when I come out, I'm coming out with my boxing gloves on. I'm telling you, I'll make sure to sign up for this because one of the things that I'm releasing is sound is warfare. And
yes.
I think so many times we have made make a joyful noise unto the Lord like a cliche. I'm sorry if you guys are just coming on. This is your midweek sermonette. I am also the first lady of visibility, but I'm also the first lady of a church. So this is your midweek sermonette.
Come
And
on
when
now.
we make a joyful noise unto the Lord as a cliche and not realizing that there's power in our sound, that our sound is warfare. Our sound, our clapping of our hands is how we stop the enemy in his tracks. And so what does he do? He brings pain, he brings trauma, sickness and disease to what? Silence us. See, the reason
Mm,
why I have found my voice because I spent many years because of being the survivor of trauma, silence. But once I found my sound, I decided I would no longer be quiet again because I
amen.
realized that there's sound in my voice.
Mm, mm,
There's
mm.
sound there.
See what Melissa said? She said, thank you. Make pain pay. She said she's going to put it on her
Oh,
mirror. And she said she promises she is going to try. Amen.
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 Amen. God
We
bless
got
you, Melissa.
we got a DJ in the house, and he said we got to sound the alarm.
That's right. That is exactly right. There is a sound and we have to release it.
Wow. So, thinking about pain, thinking about the things that, we all go through. What's something that you've used over the course of your life? What has helped you to be encouraged? What has kept you motivated? What has kept you inspired?
I think what's kept me inspired and motivated is I focused on the external more than the internal. I'm a woman who did not like how she looked on camera, did not like my voice, was very intimidated, shy, scared, all the things with the camera. And here I am getting paid for this. As a sidebar, if I had time, I'd go there and talk about that maybe the very thing that the enemy is fighting you with is the very thing that will release generational wealth to your family. Because here I am getting paid
Mm,
for a
mm,
voice
mm,
that at one time I did not honor, that I talked bad about. I didn't like how my face looked. All of these things that I talked bad about are the things that bring impact, influence, and income to my family. That's a sidebar. But what has
mm.
kept me encouraged over the years is focusing on the external. What's the external? Focusing on my family and the impact that I'm leaving for my kids and my grandkids, and focusing on the people that will now get permission from my story.
That's
That
beautiful.
has helped me to push the go live button. That has helped me to write the book. That has helped me to stand in my value, because what I understand about this is when we look at what God does in families, every third or fourth generation, He's always raising up a David. He's always raising up a warrior to kill the Goliaths in your family. And what I understand about my assignment here in the earth is that I am a modern day David. I am the one who's been raised up to slay the Goliaths, but also look behind me and release the other messengers and hand them the sword, right?
Mm.
And your mouth is the sword. So we have to understand how to fight this, right? And how to fight through this so that way you can show up here authentically, compelling, consistently, because you understand that this is about you, but it's not about you.
Oh, that right there. It's not about you. Go into
Not
that
about
a little bit more. What do you mean when you say it's about you, but it's not about you?
So one of the things I said this weekend at the conference is that your story is about you, but it's not for you. It's about you, but it's for them. So you have to realize that all I am is the city. What happens when you go anywhere? When the thing my kids love to do is when we drive to Charlotte, North Carolina, we always like to look at the skyline. They always like to see all of the big, skyscrapers and big buildings. And what I know to be true about that is this: those buildings attract. Light attracts people. No one's
Mhm.
going to a city that doesn't have any light. Uh-oh, catch that. No one's going to a city that doesn't have any light. And what I realize is that we're all cities set on the hill. We just shine our light a little bit differently. And I decided to be the Bank of America building. I want the
Okay,
whole
now.
building to be shining, right? Because what I understand is that's the light that draws people. And when they're drawn to this light, then I can draw them to his light. It's about bringing profit to people, but fame to God's name at the end.
Mm, 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 mm. So that seems to be like the whole thing you preach on. You talk about being seen, being
Yeah.
heard, being paid.
That's it. That's exactly right. You got to be the light. And so the light draws people. And so when people say, I love your glasses, I can't stop watching you. A woman recently inboxed me on Instagram. We're working on a collaboration. And she said, I mean, I just cannot stop looking at you. And she's like, when I see you on social media, it says, here I am. And she's right, because I spent so much time saying, here I'm not. I spent so much time doing this. I spent so much time doing this. I spent so
Mm,
much time kind of ducking and dodging that, honey, now that I'm here, I'm going to be all in.
wow. Wow.
So that should be the same way when it comes to you, is that you're the light. You're the light of the world. And the light is what draws people. It's not necessarily your light, but it's the light of God that's on the inside of you.
So Roshanda, if you could speak to Roshanda as a little girl, what
Oh,
knowing what you know today, knowing who you are today, what would you say to Roshanda, the little girl?
number one, I would tell her that guy was a jerk. Stay for the guy who loves God more than he loves you. And then now
Mm,
listen to this, because if he loves God more than he loves you, he'll love you good.
yes, yes.
So first, I want to tell her, girl, do not be concerned about this guy. He is not the one. That's the first thing I would tell her. I said, girl, just let that go. Just let it go. But the other thing that I would tell her is that, man, you were born for significance. And I
Mm,
know that you already know that because God whispered that to you when you were 7 or 8. He told you that you were born for significance. But what I want to tell you, Rashonda, is that you're born for significance that is going to impact the world. That everything that you do is significant, from being a mom, a wife, first lady of visibility, the Rosho live. Everything that you do is significant.
if
Live a
you
significant life.
if you as a little girl, if
Yeah.
somebody said that to you when you were a little girl, if somebody said to you that you were born for significance, if somebody said to you that you are going to impact the world, if they said to you, Rashonda, I already see it, you're going to be on stages, you're going to be on platforms, you're going to be in France, you're going to be speaking all over the world, and they said to you, Rashonda, when you get bigger, you're going to make an impact in the world. How would that have changed anything for you?
I'm trying my best not to cry. Um, I think it would have made the things around me, it would have been a contradiction, because the things that were around me didn't necessarily communicate that all the time, that I was born for significance. I was the baby of the family, but not really the baby of the family. You always have those family members where the baby of the family really is the oldest. You know what I'm saying? So the life didn't really communicate that often because it was just always a contradiction. But what I've learned about the contradictions of my life, man, it's made me better. It's made me more compassionate. It's made me more driven and ambitious.
Mhm.
Um, it's been a part of my DNA. And so, whereas I despised those things that have happened, now
Mhm.
I've learned how to embrace the mess in my message. Because what I've
Mm,
understood is God gives beauty for your mess. I know
yes.
scripture says beauty for ashes, but ashes is messy, and he gives beauty for your mess. So I think even if someone said that to me, I still would have been looking around saying, but nothing I see here um, says that this is possible. And then, as God told me last year coming into this year, I need you to see differently. And so
Wow.
he's been taking me on a journey of sight this past 12 months, a whole journey of seeing differently so I can
Mhm.
speak differently, so I can receive differently.
Wow. And just what you've said is the very reason why we have to be seen and be heard. It's the very reason that we have to use our voice to reach other people, other women, to let
Sure.
them know that there is hope, to let them know that they have a purpose, that they are valuable, that
That's
they
right.
are worth it, that they are enough. Because
That's it.
what they're seeing around them is contradictory to what we are trying to, what God wants them to do. And so
Sure.
we, our responsibility, I believe it is our obligation. One of the reasons why I can't stay on mute anymore. I
Yeah.
can't. I have to let people know. I've got to let women know. Visibility is power. I've got to let women know that, you know what? It's okay if your hair is gray. It's okay if
Yeah.
your hair is too curly. It's okay if your hair is too straight. It's okay
Mhm.
if you're a big girl. It's okay if you're a little girl. Because what I realized, Roshanda, is that
Yeah.
nobody cares about that. When you go to the doctor because you have a serious issue, and you go
Hmm.
to the doctor, you are bleeding. You just got shot with a gunshot, okay? Gunshot wound victim coming into the ER is
Yeah.
not going to say, well, I want the doctor that is tall, skinny, and is a brunette. You
Yeah.
don't care what the person looks like. And that's where the enemy really gets in our head. And it's a mindset shift. We've
For
got to
sure.
change our mindset. And we
Yeah.
have to realize that people just need what's in here. And that comes from our experiences, our life lessons, that
Yeah.
comes from our journey.
They just want the answer.
They just want the answer.
They
They
want
don't
the
care
answer.
how it comes.
They just want the answer. Yeah. That's really good. That's really good.
Chantel said the world is waiting for us.
They are. They are. And how are you going to show up to your world? And your world may not be global in a sense, right? But your world could be your community. When's the last time
Mhm.
that you engaged with your community online? It may be, your Facebook, Instagram page. It may be the community that you're cultivating in your email marketing. I mean, there's so many subsets and little communities here that we have access to, but how are you talking to those people?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Oh, another thing I remember you saying during the conference was that transparency is the new
Oh,
currency. How are you going
girl,
to?
listen, transparency is the new currency, and how are you spending it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how are you spending your transparency? Because there are some who are being transparent for the sake of shock value, to get
Mm,
clicks and attention. I'm not about that.
right.
I'm transparent because I want people to see a connection in my story. If it resonates with them, because I know I'm not called to everybody. So it's like you have to understand, how am I being transparent and how am I spending my transparency? So key.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. I love that. Okay, so I have gosh, I wanted to ask you and so maybe if you can, I should have asked you this earlier, but if you can
Mhm.
maybe just tell us really quickly, um how did visibility is power come to be? Why did you create it and who did you
Mm.
create it for?
That's so good. So visibility is power came about maybe about 3 years ago. I was at a conference, um, REN conference here in Columbia, South Carolina, and they were talking about more women in the corporate space. And the woman was talking about visibility and how we need more women in corporate America, more women in the boardroom, and it just rose up on the inside of me. Visibility is power. I was like, yeah, it is. Being seen is powerful. And from there, it morphed into the visibility is about being seen and heard and paid. And it's not about being seen everywhere. It's about being seen in the right places, the places that will really lend itself to 10x in your visibility. And we started this journey of really embracing it. And it was really for the person who is the corporate professional who maybe wants to leave their corporate job and really bet on themselves, me, right? It's
Right.
for the person who is an author, um, speaker, consultant, entrepreneur at a very high level, and says that, you know what, I'm ready to take this to the next step. And so that's what visibility is power is about. It's this whole thought that, just like the acronym, you're a VIP, and VIPs are not quiet or hidden, right? They're seen, they're heard, and they're very much paid. So it's about embracing that you are the VIP of your life. Because what happens, you've made everybody else a VIP and put yourself in general admission. Oh,
Wow.
let me say that again. For
Wow.
so long, everybody else has been on the menu, and you have not even been on the menu. So it's really about understanding about your own power and standing tall in it and not making excuses about it anymore.
Hmm. I love that. Wow. I love that. Okay. So I we can all learn from each other, right? We can all
Hmm.
learn from each other, which is one of the main reasons why I created this show with the interview format, right? To help other women, of course, unleash their brilliance.
Yes.
We very much in building relationships and collaborating. And of course, like I said, inspiring others. Okay. But I
Hmm.
believe one of the main responsibilities of an entrepreneur, the main responsibilities of someone who has a platform, of course, which I believe to be you, is each one teach one, each one
Right.
reach one. Right? So to wrap this interview, if you would please finish this sentence. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Roshanda Pratt says, in order to unleash your brilliance, you must
That's a really great question. Look at you setting this thing up like a podcast. I love it. So Rashonda says, in order to release you
unleash your brilliance.
your brilliance, you must you must embrace your visibility.
I love that. Somebody type that in the comments. You must
Embrace
embrace
your
your
visibility.
visibility. What does
You
that
have
look
to,
like? Embrace it.
that means that you have to make a decision. Again, in here, you have to make a decision that I'm going to show up in life and business in that
Mm,
order. I'm going to show up in my life and I'm going to show up in my business.
goodness. I love that.
I'm
I
going to
love that.
embrace that.
I love that. All right, so y'all got to all go out and embrace your visibility. Listen, I'm going
Yes.
to be giving this book away, so make sure you stay tuned to the page, like the page, follow the page, because I'm going to announce the winner of this book right after this show. Roshanda Pratt, the Rosho Live. Oh my goodness.
Thanks,
Thank you.
friend. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed being here and I'm really excited. Again, you guys make sure to stay tuned. The Visibility is Power book is releasing in December. Pre-orders start next week. And here's why I'm excited for many reasons. But one of the reasons is Andrea Harrison's visibility story is in the book. Yes. So you guys are going to be hearing more about that. Her sharing her story of what she's done to really 10x her visibility, and I'm really excited to share that with you all as well. So you guys make sure to stay connected with me at the Rosho Live right here on Facebook and Instagram.
You see what just popped up on your head like
I
a little
do.
bow?
I
Cute
love it.
little
I
bow.
love it.
Like
I
a cute
love it.
little bow.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Roshanda. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for who you are in my life. And thank you for being you. Thank you for being visible.
Thank you, friend. I love you much.
Have a good day.
You do the same.
I will see you soon.
Same here.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my goodness. Did you guys love that? Did you love that? Was that not just the best thing ever? I totally enjoyed having Roshanda Pratt here today. Listen, make sure you connect with her on Facebook. All right. Her Facebook page is Roshanda, the Rosho Pratt. All right. Roshanda, the Rosho Pratt. Go ahead, like her page. Make sure that you like and follow. See, what people don't realize is that liking a page, that's like meeting somebody on the street, shaking their hand, and then you keep moving. You may or may not ever see them again. But when you follow, that's like getting their phone number and saying, listen, whenever you say anything, call me, let me know. Okay. So make sure you like and follow her page. Make sure you like and follow this page. We have some amazing interviews coming up. Tune in Thursdays at 11 a.m. for Unleash Your Brilliance Live. And guess what? The other thing I want you to do is I want you to go to unleashyourbrilliancetoday.com. That's my website, unleashyourbrilliancetoday.com. You see it down there? Go down there and download a free excerpt of my book. Let me tell you, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Just go ahead and go to unleashyourbrilliancetoday.com. Download the excerpt of my book. Let me know what you think about it. When the book is released, you'll be the first to know because you'll already be on the list. Yay, this was amazing. This was so awesome. So I'm going to be giving away a copy of Roshanda's book, CEO of Live Video. Trust me when I say this book has changed my lives. If you go live, if you plan to go live, and I hope that you do, especially after seeing this show, you need this book in your life. I know it's available on Amazon, and I'm sure it's on her website, therosholive.com. Again, my name is Andrea Harrison. I am the creator and founder of Unleash Your Brilliance. As a writer and inspirational speaker, I disrupt comfort zones. I am a purpose pusher, inspiring women to unleash their brilliance and live out their life purpose. Thank you so much for joining us today. And remember, you were born on purpose with a purpose. I'll see you next Thursday. Yep, we'll be here next Thursday. I have a really special guest, that somebody I am eternally thankful for. Yep, my mother. So make sure you tune in next Thursday, Thanksgiving morning. Very special to me to interview my mother on Thanksgiving morning. All right, take care. God bless you guys. Have a great day. And remember, visibility is power. Embrace it.